Hi everyone, back again with a spring card. I just wanted to bring you this card because I thought it'd be quite helpful if you're in a rush or if you're not a stamper. Sometimes I think it can be a little bit alienating when everything's predominantly stamping. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create a this spring card with no stamping. So I haven't tried this out before, so you're going to have to bear with me in the hopes that I can make this work. So all I'm doing first is I'm just folding my spring card along my lines, along my creases. So once I've got that, you're just going to fold your face back over, and that is how you create your spring. Yeah? So what we're going to do is, like I said in my other video, you're going to treat these as if they're a square. So if I'm right, I think they're about 3 inches. They are. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure a 3-inch square. I mean, I could just use my board. That would make life so much easier. Which is about right, actually. Yeah. So I'm going to use my board for my 3-inch square. Oh, I've moved it. There to there. I'm just going to draw a line down there. And then next bit, what we're going to do is we're going to measure 3 inches. And there. So then if you get your cutter, hoping it fits in, it should do, line it up. It should. Oh, it's given me a fancy edge. I didn't want that. That was what I wanted. Yeah. So I've cut my square there. So I'm just going to go and trim this down again. Can you tell I'm used to using a massive paper cutter rather than this dinky little cutter? So you've got your 3 pieces. So what you're going to do is you want to cut them in half. So if you put that in there like that and wedge that down, should be roughly, she says roughly, right, I can't do it guys, it's not very aesthetically pleasing, but I need my big cutter because I just want to trim it down a little bit more. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to trim it so it's just a little bit less. So if I go to halfway between, like so, so I'm going just a little bit less, so that when you put that on your card, which I'll put somewhere now. I don't know where I put my spring card. Oh, I've dropped it on the floor. So, as always guys, it's Carnage Crafting. So when you put it on there, it's just a little bit smaller. So can you see what I'm doing there? So that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to trim them down. You could, when you're cutting, if you make them, say, so if I do it this way, so I want to make it that by that. So it's halfway between, I can't work in in inches. Everything seems to be in inches and I'm a centimetres gal. But, so they're my pieces. So then, if you move those out of the way, you can see that we've got our little pieces that will fit nicely. So what I'm going to do, just going to bob it in there. In there. I think this card lends itself really well to just being used like this, so it's not overly complicated for anybody. So your next bit, so we've just cut these bits out, and what we're going to do is we want to measure this bit, which is just a bit less than 3 inches by just a bit less than 6. So we're going to do, oops. So which way do I want it to go? I think. So I'm going to go to 2.5, about there. So I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 little gaps below my ruled, 4 little gaps below 3 inches. Measure down there, and then we want it to be just a bit less than 1, 2, 3, 4. That is our next one to cut. And then what I want is, because I'm having this on here, like so, I want to make sure that this little bit isn't showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a nice little square so that it sits above it. So if we measure to the lines, which again, yep, so that's 4 inches. So we're going to cut a 4-inch square. So 4 inches there. Definitely can't see that. So 4 inch to about there. And then we want 4 inches down, which takes me just to about that line. So I'm going to get my big cutter out because it's just the way that I work. So this is my bottom piece, and then when I find my marked lines, where did I go to? So I can measure 4 inches there. So we've got 4 inches, I'm just going to trim that top bit off there. So then we've got little squares, so we're going to do the same again. So we're just going to bob that in there so that that fits nicely. Now I'll use different paper pads. I'm just being paper pad savvy and using the same one so it all matches. We're going in there. definitely not put that on straight, but okay, we won't really see it. So then, next step is what I would definitely need my foam tape for. Oh, I found it. Oh, we've got it, guys, we're okay. So, this is what you'll be using your foam tape for. Because we want our nice topper to stand up on top. I should have mentioned all these are from the, I'm using the farmhouse paper pad and I'm using the toppers from the farmhouse vellum pad. So as you can see, that is how easy it would be. So what we're going to do, because this is our spare gap, we're going to cut some red tape because I want to make sure that it really does stay down. Pick that off. And then we're going to fold that over on itself, and then we're going to give that a push down, so that's the bit that's stuck to it, and then that is your spring card. And I just think for how long it takes, if you're not very into crafting but you really want to sell or send a homemade card, I think it's perfect. And you can just see that that would then go in your envelope like so. You can always fold it, you could have folded it back on itself, but I think it pops out better then if you leave it that way. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, if you've got any questions, let me know. If you've got anything that you want demonstrating in particular. But I hope you enjoy it and lots of crafty love.